What's up, guys? West Pruitt, 4-Star Sports Media. There's John Surf over there to the side there. We got John back in the house today for a jam-packed, laid-back. It's going to be a laid-back show on this Friday, June the 28th, 2024 edition. We thank everybody for watching and listening. Also on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and 4star.live. John, what's going on, buddy?
TGIF. Thank God it's Friday.
Man, you're not kidding, man. You're not kidding. Thank God it is Friday. Jason Patterson just jumped in the background. Look at Jason just bumping in out of left field. I love it. Might bring, you know what? I think I'm going to bring Jason. John, let's get it kicked off, man. Let's start with the burning question of the show. And that is, has your opinion of the portal or NIL changed after what we saw over the weekend with Jim Schwarzenegger, formerly Texas A&M coach, now Texas coach, was asked about it. He got a little sloshy with the young reporter from TexAgs.com. But John, we'll start there, man. And I'm going to bring Jason on this too.
All right.
John, okay. Has your opinion of the portal and NIL changed based on things coaches are doing?
Yes and no. Yes, because they need to have, me personally, I think the portal needs to basically be for baseball on different dates, whatnot. I think they should start entering the portal after the season is complete. Just because, one, you don't know what's really going to happen regarding coaching changes, regarding assistant coaching changes. Heck, your dad or whatever that might be going somewhere else too, and whatnot. And also, we talked about this off air when I read the NCAA a little bit on air too. But the roster limit for these tournaments, for the regional tournament, and then the super regional, and then the Omaha, you can only have 27 players on the main roster is ridiculous. And then if a player wants to go to Omaha, they got to find their own way, and they cannot even be in a dugout watching the game with their own players. So definitely, that's one reason I say that the portal is going to be changing. I think the portal should change regarding college baseball. I think the portal should basically open up right after the season gets over, to be honest with you. But that's just my honest opinion because of that.
What's going on, you guys?
Not much.
Wes, I cannot hear you at all. You are not on, buddy. There you are.
All right, what about now?
Well, first off, NIL, mine has not changed really. I think that the way it's going to change is I think it's going to affect facilities first and foremost, and it's also going to affect staffing in the athletic departments now. I think that's where you're going to see a huge change because, well, let's face it, some of these athletic staffs are pretty fat as far as the number of folks that they have employed, and you're going to start seeing folks that used to do one job and they had two other people with them doing that job to that one person doing three jobs.
Mm-hmm.
That's where a huge change is going to come in. And one of the biggest thing I think is also going to happen is you're going to have universities asking for more money than what they were before for facilities, because the fundraising part of it is going to get I'm going to say probably just it's going to be hyped up so much more than what it was before, because now you're committing so much money to the players that you have to with revenue sharing that you weren't before.
Yeah.
So say, for instance, Memphis, for instance, is looking to expand and have a $70 million facility for football, right? 20 million that was going to it is now gone. So now they've got to find a way to make up for that. Now that's not including basketball. That's not including if they put any money in the other sports on campus. You're directly taking away from what they would have gotten from the revenue sharing. Yeah. So now you've got to go and say, okay, now, hey, donors, by the way, the money that you were giving to NIL, I'm going to need some of that for facilities. And I think that you're going to start to see some money move away from NIL from the players back to the facilities. I feel like the pendulum swung way one side, and now it's starting to kind of go back to the middle a little bit. And that the universities are having to push, hey, you're not going to get as much maybe up front because, one, the boosters and the donors are not willing to put out that kind of money anymore because now we got to keep up with facilities. And I think that's where it's where it's going to start to lay at.
Yeah, that's a great point. All right, man. So, John, Jason, I'm sure you're aware, we do poll questions every day now. We'll start with poll question number 1 today, and that is, will Tennessee baseball repeat as champion? Now, people may laugh at this question, but I didn't think Tennessee was going to snap the curse of number ones winning the national championship this year. So you might as well ask the question if you don't know if it happened next or not, right? So Jason, I'll start with you, man. Do you think Tennessee baseball will repeat as champion?
Let me pose a different question to you that does sit in the realm of Tennessee baseball.
Sure. Will
Tony Vitello be back next year?
Yes.
I'm going to say yes, and I put it out on social media on the tree price on.
We're going to know that answer until September, October anyway, because you've got the Oakland Athletics, which everybody knew they're going to be a bottom seller team. You've got a couple of other, teams that you might see a Wes Johnson type move where, hey, he can capitalize on that. He may have a chance to go and do something that he may not have been able to do before. And I'm sure the opportunities have been there in lower level spots throughout organizations. But if a team comes to him and says, hey, you know what? I've got $60 million in payroll that I can use next year in this offseason. This is my plan. We're going to give you $12 million a year to manage this team, and we're going to lock you up for 3 years. We're going to give this a test run. How does Tony Vitello not turn that down?
See it. I can see it. After his post-game mention of Dave Van Horn, Arkansas specifically, and then also, just was flat out said, look, I think a lot of people don't realize what they got in Dave Van Horn. I really think he's the next head coach at the University of Arkansas. I know there's people around the state here that made that statement. People laughed at him. But, man, the more I listen to him, I think he has a real passion to get back to baseball. I could be completely wrong.
No, that was
based on and kind of his mannerisms towards Arkansas.
No, his love for Arkansas and the state and the team, it never went away. It was just his fiery competitiveness got in the way of some things, which fired a lot of fans up. I get that. That's fine. But do I see Dave Van Horn retiring this year? No.
No.
Do I see the fact where Tony might be able to go to the major leagues for a couple of years? Dave retires and Tony comes back. I've been on that since the final game of the College World Series last week, West Review. I feel like that's a possibility. I don't see him going anywhere else other than the pros. So
that's a great point that I hadn't thought about.
What's that?
I said that's a great point. I hadn't even thought about the A's in this entire situation.
Yeah, because the A's are going to be moving to Las Vegas pretty soon. But if that doesn't present itself, he's going to stay at Tennessee. I agree with you, Jonathan. But can they repeat? I don't know. As you can see from the last couple of years, the trend has been has been for hell the last 3 or 4 SEC teams now has been, hey, we'll win one and then we're going to fall off the face of the earth.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
LSU and Ole Miss,
Mississippi State, Vanderbilt, for instance. I mean, those teams have hit the mountaintop and then went back down to base camp pretty quick.
Yeah, very true. Jason, I don't know if you watch professional wrestling.
Hey Wes, let me answer that question real quick. I will say yes.
My bad, John.
I'm gonna go ahead and say yes for both. I just think his play. I think he's got. First of all, I think he stays at Tennessee unless the Chicago White Sox hire him. First of all, for your White Sox.
Don't do that to me, John. Don't dare do that to me.
But,
don't do that to me.
I would say, but Oakland might be placed in the Shy Sox. That's bad.
Man, don't get me excited with a good time. Shit.
No, I'm kidding. No, I'm just being sarcastic.
I'm not.
No, but in all seriousness, though, I think it depends on what players go into the draft and where they're drafted. I can see. I know everybody's been saying that Simo might be coming back for another year, but he might get drafted. But heck, money does talk these days, and to be honest with you, I think Tennessee's going to get a lot more players in the portal if a lot more players do go in that draft. Like Zerker brought up, Director of Baseball Operations Chad Zerker brought up this week on his social media platforms. Who doesn't want to play for Tony V? His passion for the game is out there. As you saw it, Jason and Wes, you saw it in his post game the other night. The players love him. He's full of energy. So that's one reason I think, to be honest with you, I think Tennessee can repeat. But before I get off topic for our next question, Wes, Jason, why does the NCAA have a roster limit for these regionals and super regionals in Omaha?
They're stupid.
27 players, man, that's ridiculous.
I think it should. Well, and let's look at it this way too, because you've got a roster limit with postseason Major League Baseball, and also with Major League Baseball during the regular season. I do feel that the NCAA does try to mirror Major League Baseball a little bit in that sort, but at the same time, you also have to look at the amount of kids that could travel with the teams versus the kids that would travel with the teams. So, I mean, at the same time, universities are looking to cut cost. I mean, let's face it. If 7 university presidents go up to the NCAA board and say, hey, we don't want to be paying out this much money a month for these trips, NCAA can come back and say, okay, by the way, we're going to limit this. This is what we're going to do. Because anybody that says that doesn't happen is blind. So I do think that is something that does play into it. But I think the other half of it is that they do try to mirror Major League Baseball. Because, I mean, you're not going to see where teams are going to go to Omaha and have 60 guys on their roster. I mean, it just doesn't happen that way. Now, I do see where you could expand that just because of the 10-day haul that it does have. I'm not going to sit there and say these kids are younger and they should be, have time management or load management, for instance, because it doesn't happen in travel ball. It doesn't happen in minor league baseball. You have 18, 19-year-old kids that are playing 6 games a week and be off one day and 6 games again. So that's out of the window. I mean, honestly, Omaha kind of mirrors the minor league schedule in a way, except for the final, because they have a day or two between each game. Other than that, it's pretty much the same. It's a 10-day haul. Is basically what it is, because you have you have conference championship that may go for 5 or 6 days, and then you have a 3 or 4 day break, and then you go into regionals. Then you have another 3 or 4 day break, and you go to Supers, and then a 3 or 4 day break, and then you go to the CWCS. Jesus Christ. And so you have all that going. Yeah, the MCWS. There you go. Men's college. Because you got to have the education there with the women's. But, as far as management goes, as far as players, no, I mean, I think that's one of the reasons why they limit it, because in models in Major League Baseball and Minor League Baseball, I mean, it plays.
I think it's stupid too. Because think about it. What happens when somebody gets hurt on that 27-man roster? Now you can't get somebody to come up.
Well, exactly. Well, that's also the joy of Major League Baseball and Minor League Baseball is that if you do, you have somebody that can't come up. And I really think that's, again, another indictment on the NCAA and how they have been refusing and how they also do not move with the model of what Major League Sports does. I mean, they're outdated, they're archaic, and it is just dumb. Just dumb.
I agree. Something that's not archaic, and it's WWE, Jason. So I know you're not a WWE guy. But we did see the return of Bray Wyatt's, rest in peace, formerly known as Bray Wyatt. His brother, Taylor Rotunda, legal name, Bo Dallas, wrestling name, ring name, build name, whatever you want to call it. But Uncle Howdy would return to WWE in, I consider it cinematic magic fashion. The way that they built up with all the little QR codes and all the different little, rabbits and all that, very Bray Wyatt-ish, very Fiend-ish. But John, I'll start with you. Will Uncle Howdy appear tonight on WWE SmackDown Live?
I think he will. It's kind of interesting how the Pat McAfee show is getting a little bit Uncle Howdy on this, because somehow I think, with Pat McAfee missing Monday night due to the death of his family member of his, wife and whatnot. But his father-in-law passed away. That's one reason he wasn't there Monday night. That's one reason I think Pat McAfee will probably join SmackDown commentary tonight. And Uncle Howdy could probably come up behind the announce table and maybe just make an appearance right behind the announce table with Pat McAfee.
Yeah, I think something's going to happen. We saw Michael Cole last week, and we'll get into it more when we get into WWE for a minute. But we saw Michael Cole just prove why he is so good at what he does, being on the call by himself. Nikki Cross and her creepy self crawling into the ring, crawling over to him, standing up all the ring style, and then walking over and delivering an ominous looking box. Let's just get into the main course. We'll start with a little live golf. Jason, you want to talk a little live golf?
I want to go back to that WWE thing for just a second.
Oh, okay. Oh, hey, I'm not going to turn that down. We'll back it up.
Here's the thing. This is where I'm coming from here. The WWE has an incredible opportunity here with a character named Uncle Howdy. He has got to be married to Aunt Hansy.
No. It's really, seriously, you ought to Google it, man, because if you look at it from an outside of wrestling perspective, honestly, seriously, this is an offshoot. If you look at it from an outside of wrestling perspective, it's a beautiful way of his brother to continue their dream of wrestling together. But then when you look at everybody that's involved, it's even more people that Bray throughout his career either helped evolve or worked with or something. So it's combined of their group is named the Wyatt Six. It's a SICK and then a 6. But man, just look them up, man. Like the backstory to it is really good. I mean, like I said, I grew up watching wrestling. You know this, Jason.
Same here. I had to quit though because Stone Cold broke his neck and broke my heart. So
I feel you on that. But man, this whole Uncle Howdy thing, man, I'm telling you, it's got Undertaker mixed with like the Boogeyman, mixed with like.
Man,
Hell,
he's scared to live.
I don't know. I can't even describe what this is, but it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Man, if you got an Aunt Nancy out there, you've got to have an Uncle Grabby, and you should put Jerry Lawler in that. Hell, he came out of the grave for that one.
I mean, you got a sister Abigail. Does that count?
I'm telling you, you want to bring back Jerry Lawler. I mean, he didn't even have to talk. All he had to just use his hands and call him Uncle Grabby or Cousin Grabby. With Aunt Hansy and Uncle Howdy. Well, I tell you what, that would be a hell of that's right there. That's like, I don't know what. That's like the reincarnation of DMX.
All right, man. Let's get to the main course, folks. We'll start with a little live golf. They were recently in Nashville. We would see Taylor Hatton get the win, big win. But what I really want to talk about here is the fact that once again, another major organization company takes their tournament, takes their team, whatever it may be, to Nash Vegas, as people call it. And they show up and show out. When you look at the crowd was lit up. I don't know if you guys follow Live Golf. I do.
Yeah, it was a great crowd too.
Great crowd, man. I just enjoyed the entire atmosphere. I mean, you're there to have fun. We saw John Rahm return and play really, really well. He did withdraw during the second round of the Live Golf Houston tournament for a foot infection, which also, as we know, kept him out of last week's U.S. Open. So Rahm returned. DeChambeau, I mean, what is there said? I mean, Bryson's just playing incredible golf right now. But it was a sold-out weekend, man. It was sold-out crowd. 3 days of competition, all three sold out. So yeah. I just want to give a shout-out to the city of Nashville, man. They just, for the state of Tennessee, it's becoming more clear that if you want your entertainment or you want your company or you want whatever to be a success, you go to Nashville, Tennessee. I mean, would you guys agree?
John, I'll let you go first, buddy.
1,000, 5,000, 10,000% agree.
And I mean, look, I do want to preface this, Jason, before you go by saying that's not a shot at Memphis at all. It's a fact. It is a fact.
Well, let's face it. Let's look at it because you're going to have a better supporting in Nashville, first off and foremost. You've got a lot of folks in Nashville that go back and forth to Vegas and to the West Coast. So to me, that doesn't surprise me really that much. You have a lot of folks that go to Nashville intentionally, not vicariously, but intentionally. So whenever you have that happen, when you have events like this, yeah, you're going to have a major that comes through. You're going to have a great showing. So that doesn't surprise me in the least. I also feel like as Liv keeps going, they keep giving the middle finger to the PGA because the PGA said, we're going to let you hang out to dry. We're going to wait for you to wither and die off. And not only did they say, challenge accepted, they've excelled at that challenge as well. So they're basically forcing the PGA at some point down the road to partner with them and partner with them in a way where it's like the NFL and the AFL. But you're going to have bigger payouts. And I think that's what the PGA has tried to do, to not go towards, to make it more about money and more about the sport itself, because I get where they try to make the origination of it and they keep it and they want to keep it to as close as what they found in Scotland as possible. But at the same time, when was the last time you saw somebody hate money? Hell, I like it. Hell, everybody I talk to likes it. Of course they're going to go to that. And next year, if I was Live Golf, I would say that my next tour would be called the Middle Finger Tour.
Wow.
I mean, but John, to his point, I mean, you look at Live Golf. Last year they were around, their inaugural season, right? This year, year two, they expand tournament-wise, they hit up different cities, but they also expand league-wise because you bring in Legion 12. Oh, and by the way, you also go get John Rahm and bring him over. That's a massive move for them if they can continue in the trend that they're on now. Obviously, continue to grow, continue to expand. The popularity there, there's no doubt about that. But John, what's your thoughts on the city of Nashville possibly even hosting another live event?
To be honest with you, like I told you the other day, I'm like, Nashville's the perfect spot. Like Jason brought up, it's easy to get to, especially when you're flying from the West Coast to the Southeast and whatnot. Because hey, you got more nonstop flights from Nashville out to the West Coast and whatnot as well. And I think, to be honest with you, I looked at some hotels last week, in Franklin, because that's where Live Golf was. That's where I usually stay at when I go to Nashville, to be honest with you, is in Franklin. And hotels weren't like CMA Fest prices at all.
Yeah.
They were like anywhere from like $150 to $200, per night. They weren't like $500 to $700 per night when they are during the CMA Fest, or even during Titan season, or even Predator season, and whatnot as well. So, like you said, kudos to the city of Nashville for doing a great job last week. Everybody I talked to, or not talked to, but everybody I seen on social media talk about it, the golf course looked like it was in good shape also.
Beautiful.
So definitely, I think the city of Nashville will get another Live Golf, before it's all said and done.
Here's the most incredible part about that whole thing is that you've got Live Golf in Nashville the same weekend that you got Hawk 2 Girl. So, I mean, if that isn't an incentive to go to Nashville and try to get that kind of an interview, I mean, hell, who wouldn't want to go to Nashville? Jesus.
I mean, these are all facts. Up next on the Live Golf Tour, they head over to Spain on July 12th through 14th. They're heading back over to Valderrama, beautiful golf course over there in Spain. Real club, Valderrama, for a 3-day tournament there before heading over to United Kingdom. And the next time they'll be back in the United States is August 16th through 18th, when they visit Greenbrier, West Virginia, for the Greenbrier Country Club before going to Chicago and then finishing up with the Team Championship, which is in Dallas, Texas, September 20th through the 27th. So when you look at Live Golf, man, it's a fun league. Like I said, we thoroughly enjoy covering here at Point Star Sports Media. We're trying to integrate all these things into this show, and I think it's worked pretty well so far. Next thing to integrate, John, is this. It's time to talk WWE, man. It's a laid-back Friday here. We talked a little bit of different things. One of those is going to be WWE. I'm a wrestling fan, and I love it. So let's start with Open House. John, I'm not going to lie to you, man. I'm saying this on live. There's 40 people watching. By the way, thank you everybody watching and listening right now on all our social media pages. Feel free to comment, like, share. Let's interact. Let's talk some WWE right now. John, I came off the freaking couch, man. When the lights started going down and I heard the little noise that I knew what it was, I lost it. And then when Nikki Cross crawled out, John, and I realized who it was.
Yeah.
I can't say on here what I said, but I said some things.
Yeah, you said holy crap.
Both hands, fist pumping, like I was pumped. And then she stood up and did that creepy little wave where she just pointed back to the back. And then the cameraman, by the way, the camera work for WWE recently, since BKM has taken his perverted self on, the camera work for WWE has been incredible. It's more like the follows. Back in the day, Jason, when they would run to the back and, there was a fight in the gorilla position, It'd run to the back of the camera, up the ramp, through the curtain.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
more of their following. And I love it. But man, you turn the corner, dude, then there's like stuff thrown everywhere and broken, and you see this creepy dude just sitting over in the corner in the mask. Oh man. Oh, it was beautiful, dude. It was beautiful. I'm excited for tonight. I got me some wings. I'm gonna throw me some wings in the air fryer, and got me some chips and salsa too. So I'm gonna sit back and relax, drink me a non-alcoholic Blue Moon, and watch some wrestling tonight. Start at 7 o'clock. But John, yeah, that was a free club, definitely. Well, anytime you
Did I just
guys
party at Wes's house with a keg?
I mean, as long as you keep it quiet, I don't care. But he said with a
You're a
keg.
bachelor this weekend. Why would you want to keep it quiet?
Oh, that's funny, man. Oh, and it's true though. I am. But John, what were your thoughts on the way WWE has done this entire Uncle Howdy?
Like Triple H brought up on Pat McAfee, we thought Chad Gable passed away with all that blood.
I thought he had a bullet hole in his head.
Yeah, but rest in peace, Chad Gable, right? But yeah,
But he's back the next week.
I know, right?
Another cat with 9 lives.
But yeah, overall, it's been pretty cool just to see on what's going on behind the scenes, especially when they've been out for so long. Especially like you brought up, Nikki Cross, just the way that she's been doing everything awesome lately, and the whole WWE in general lately, ever since Triple H took over. Great job, for WWE lately regarding that. But my thing is, they finally are putting out next week or this week coming up the storyline behind the Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes also,
Yeah.
So they finally got that finished, and they're finally publicizing that on YouTube on Monday, I believe. So just watching this WWE whole, it's even interesting regarding good old, Dominic Mysterio and Liv
Oh, you
Morgan,
talking about Death Row Dom?
who might be getting slapped at a couple of times when good old Miss Rhea Ripley comes back. But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Liv Morgan just running around, kind of being a little sloop. It's kind of fun to watch, man. I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of fun. She's a freak, and she enjoys telling everybody that she is. That's kind of how it works. Jason, you might enjoy that.
Jason's
side,
like,
man.
what?
Yeah, you might enjoy that side of it too, man.
Hey, John, I'm going to cut Wes out of this for just a second. I'm going to talk to you. You know why I come on here most times?
What's that?
I'm not talking to you, Wes. I'm talking to Jonathan.
Why is that?
The reason why I come on here is I want to see how long I can make Wes lock up and laugh so long he almost pisses himself. Like, that's my goal every time I come on here is I try to lock Wes up to the point where he cannot talk. If he tries to breathe, it hurts. That's my sole reason why I try to come on here most times. Now, I do try to interject. Yes, I try to
Most times. That's so funny.
but I try to mess with Wes as much as possible because it's in good fun more than anything else. It does a little bit better with the ratings because I mean, let's face it, this face right here was made for TV, so I try to bring it every time. Minus the bald spot, as you can see, it looks like a freaking island up there. But I'm not quite
This could be a whole other show.
Dude,
Three ball guys and,
Hey, that's what our new show's called, The Three Bald Man.
Hey, Wes, you ever got Bosley call you ever?
Yeah.
We had that conversation earlier. Hey, Wes, you want to mention any other places that you get phone calls from about?
No, I'm good on that, brother.
You might want to try out.
No, I'm good on that, brother. I'm good on that. I've got some odd mailings throughout my almost 39 years. That's fun.
Hey, how about the McDonald's phone call, Wes?
Yeah, right. Exactly. No, I do want to tell Jason that.
I saw somebody they go through and they get 400 or 500 chicken nuggets, and there's this big damn box that they get it in. And I know that they don't eat it, and I know that they cut away and they show them eating like the last 2 or 3. But who the hell goes and intentionally orders that many nuggets? That's ridiculous. And it's on
the woman that came through the McDonald's drive-through on Whitney Road in Memphis, Tennessee, about 1:30 in the morning, and decided she thought it was a good idea to order Tiki hot and spices and Tiki cheeseburgers. Found out real quick that the more you order, the messier they're made. Because there was mayonnaise all over them sandwiches, and there might have been mustard on a few, might have been ketchup on a few, but there wasn't mustard and ketchup on a daggone one of them.
Might have been high at 1:30 in the morning.
Dude, she had to have been. There's no doubt about it. I mean, you're ordering like 100 sandwiches at 1 o'clock in the morning. I mean, literally, we almost told her, hey, that's like special order territory.
Oh, my
ridiculous,
God.
Man. Ridiculous. But, John, what's your thoughts on possibly, like, we got Money in the Bank coming up with WWE? We've got an AEW pay-per-view this weekend for Forbidden Door. Easy with that one, Jason. That's just easy with that one. But I know how you are with your quick-wittedness. Yeah, man, WWE's been on fire recently. But, John, let's jump over to our next topic real quick.
Hey, wait a second. I got to charge my computer real fast. I got to get my cord myself.
I appreciate you coming on, man. Jason Patterson, thank you for joining us, man.
I'll be back. You can't get rid of me. I'm like syphilis. I'm here for a while.
There he goes, man. And there he goes. There he goes, locking me up in the middle of the daggone show.
He definitely wants to show the 3-ball man, don't he?
Oh, yeah. So, John, let's talk a little bit of Memphis football recruiting. When you look at Ryan Stufield, man, one thing that a lot of Memphis fans like to complain about maybe is the loss record. Maybe it's not even that. Maybe it's more of how he plays, because it's not flashy enough. We've had multiple discussions on it. But when you look at the Memphis football recruiting right now, let's just talk about it, man. Xavier Johnson is a Tiger. Jonathan Harding is going to come with us here just a little bit. Tiger. You've got offers to guys. Jalen Morgan, safety out of Tennessee. He's got offers from kids in Indiana. Nashville, Tennessee, Lipscomb Academy. Fayette County, Fayetteville, Georgia. Let's just talk about Georgia. So you saw last year the addition of Sutton Smith, star running back out of the state of Georgia. Look at Memphis historically; they've done pretty well in Georgia. Ryan Silverfield has made Georgia a point of emphasis in his recruiting. You can tell by just looking at the offers that are out there. He is going after kids in Georgia. What's your thoughts on Silverfield expanding the recruiting to literally a national base now, not just regional, John?
Yeah, like for getting kids like 3-star or even 4-star, like with the quarterback that we just got. I think the Georgia State right now is getting pretty good for the Memphis area right now, just because you got 3 stars. Like the running back, I'm sure you're probably referring to is now Walter Payton's son. It's a 2025. Yeah. Okay. Well, in general, that he also got a 2025 commitment from Georgia, the running back, 5'9", 185 Payton. But yeah, Payton. I think overall the state of Georgia right now, to be honest with you, I think they're looking not if Georgia Tech or Georgia's not an option. Why not Memphis? Because like you brought up in previous shows, whatever, Memphis has a good shot at qualifying for that playoff spot down the road. And I think some Georgia, plus we're still running back I call it. So we still got some good running backs. So why not come to Memphis when you got a history of good running backs to our, in general, from all over the country, really, even in Georgia, which Georgia has really been, to be honest with you, Tommy West did the same thing. He recruited well in the state of Georgia too. So even Norvell, when he was here, he did pretty well with Georgia athletes, and it's just showing over with Ryan Silverfield what he's done for the state of Georgia too right now.
Yeah, Jason, when you look at what just happened with Memphis, you see 4-star quarterback Antoine Hill Jr. come to Memphis. It was between Memphis and Florida, and he chose Memphis over schools like Colorado and others. What does that do for Memphis on a national landscape, optic-wise, just visual optic-wise? How does that change the program?
Well, first off, just like a bad antibiotic, I'm back. You didn't think I was going to not take that opportunity? Man, you got to. No, that right there shows exactly how inept Billy Napier has been.
Yeah.
It also shows how Florida boosters and Board of Regents cannot wait to get rid of him, and why they haven't is baffled. When you got a quarterback that is turning down a school that has had, Jesse Palmer, Danny Warfel, Rex
Tim
Grossman, Tim friggin' Tebow. No offense to Memphis and no offense to Ryan Silverfield, but they give Florida the finger and say, you know what? I'm going to trade in Gator Country for Beale Street, which is exactly what happened. And I'm not saying that the women in Florida are any cuter than the girls in Memphis, but I'm just saying that the barbecue might be better, and the coach might be there a little bit longer than the Florida coach. And I think that honestly is what, at the end of the day, is what the deciding factor was. Is Billy Napier going to be here longer than Ryan Silverfield? The answer is no. So unless Ryan Silverfield decides to jump ship and move on, because I still don't know how Memphis is going to fit into this new model that's going to come downhill here in the next couple of years. Will they stay with the Power Fives? I don't know. Could it happen? Possibly. I still don't know, though. But at the end of the day, for right now, though, with him choosing Memphis over Florida, that signals to me the instability at Florida and the stability at Memphis, and understanding that this is a hell of a better system than what playing in the SEC is. And that's what every high school football and transfer portal kid is striving to be in, is that top tier, being on TV each week. And if they don't have, if you're turning that down, woof, Wes, easy there, boogeyman.
Casper is back. Oh, okay.
I see that he's back. And you got the glasses, man. They're just neon right now from the screen. It looks like I don't know what, but no. Whenever you have a kid turn down Florida for Memphis, that just signals exactly what I think is. It's this administration, honestly.
Yeah. Heck, I think Billy Napier don't even survive after the UCF game. I think they cane him right after Gus Malzahn goes into the swamp and beats him.
If that's the case, then why didn't you do that in the offseason in the first place?
True.
Because if you know that you're going to shit can your guy within the first 6 games of the season, you're doing yourself a disservice, and you're also paying that guy.
Yeah.
So why pay him to lose and create an unsurmountable amount of crap from your fan base? Why would you want to hear that for 6 games to turn around and say, you know what, we're just going to get rid of you right now, and we're going to bring the guy that we want in? Now, I don't know if Gus is going to want to jump back in the SEC.
No.
I really don't know, because let's face it, whenever he made that move down to Florida and he was counting all those $100 bills in his bed and said, I got it made in the shade because I got an administration that's not tearing my neck apart, and I don't have people messing in my personal business. I don't have folks from Arkansas hoping that I come back up there. He's got it made in Florida. And I just don't know if he wants the heat that the Florida fan base is going to bring, because they're not going to bring him back to expect Will Muschamp and Jim McElwain results. They're looking for Urban Meyer and Steve Spurrier results. And I don't know if he wants that, because let's face it, he had it at Auburn. He sees what Billy Napier's going through. I just don't see that happening.
Yeah, good point. Well, let's go ahead and bring our guest in. He also chose the Memphis Tigers, so we can probably get a little insight into the reasoning as to why. Let me take myself off camera here when I bring him on. Jonathan Harding is joining the show. Jonathan, thank you very much for joining us.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all for having me.
Oh, man, not much, man. Not much. So, Jonathan, let me just start with a hard-hitting question.
Mm-hmm.
Why Memphis?
Yeah. I think there's a lot to that question. I think as a coaching staff, I think they have one of the best coaching staffs in college football. I truly believe that. Best players get developed to really play at the next level. I think they have a great culture, very positive over there, a lot of momentum going in the right direction. So I think there's a lot to that.
So when you look, you just talked about the staff. When you look at this staff, of course, Ryan Silverfield's at the forefront of that. You just overheard us talking about the recruiting, the job he's done, the type of players that he's bringing in, and really the standard that he's continuing to set at the University of Memphis. What is it about him as a head coach that has you excited?
Yeah. He's a very upbeat guy, and you were kind of talking about the standard. Like, that's what I really think excites me, is that the standard he holds his guys to is pretty high, and he keeps them accountable too. He checks up on them. He makes sure that they're really playing to that standard, that they're training to that standard in the classroom, out of the classroom. So I think there's a lot about him that's exciting, that fires me up a little bit.
Go ahead, John.
Yeah, JH, congratulations again on your commitment, man. You're rated on 3-star on Rivals, so congratulations on that. I just want to, a lot of people don't get a lot of credit out there like you do, and I just want to say congratulations on that. I know how hard it is to get your name out there in general right now regarding, certain players right now in general. But did you want to, is it good to commit this early in the game to a program like Memphis, because you really don't know what's going to happen down the road, regarding NIL and transfer portal, and whatnot?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's something that went into my decision, is wanting to commit this early, kind of get my spot locked in, because there's a lot that can happen with transfer portal, like you said, and coaches kind of want them. They want their players kind of now, like after official visits, after that window's over, they kind of want who's on their boat and kind of who's not. So it was definitely important for me to commit at this time. I appreciate it. Thank you for the plug.
No, Jason, go ahead.
Yeah. So was there a connection of any sort with you and Memphis beforehand?
Yeah, I would say they've been kind of me the longest and probably the hardest. So there's been that connection for time now, ever since I got my offer. Kind of seen, and it's definitely different from other people. I mean, other people have recruited me, but I've kind of liked how they've done everything. Sure.
So you don't have. So I guess also. So was there any family members that you have ever went to Memphis or anything like that? Was there any of those connections?
Yeah, not really. I mean, I have. I think maybe some cousins that might have that they told me, but really not really much. It was kind of just a to me and somewhere I was a part of. They kind of really didn't matter to me who was there. Definitely the place I went.
Gotcha. And last one for me. And I know that I was I was talking about this before you came on. I don't know if you heard or not, but how much of a factor did it play into your decision with where the program at Florida is versus where the program at Memphis is with their coaching staff administration?
Yeah, no, that's a good one. I liked what you said, because a program like Florida, their coaching staff probably isn't going to be within the next 3 or 4 years when you're there. And it's really hard on a college athlete to have coaching staff now, because then you got a whole new system and whatnot. So I definitely think Memphis, Coach Silverfield, extended and kind of made it clear what he wants to be. I think he had other opportunities. It doesn't matter for him. He's very a loyal person, and you don't really think college football a lot. With Coach, want to go to the next big job, and he's won a lot in Memphis, but it's the place he wants to stay. So I think it's awesome having their coaching staff all around, not even Coach Silverfield, a lot of the coaches. It's definitely the place they want.
And how important is winning to you? Last one.
That's important. No, that's important because winning's fun, and when you're not winning, it's a lot of stress. It's hard. So winning's definitely important, and the momentum Memphis has. They're winning a lot of games. They've won a lot of bowl games, and hopefully now they can, with the 12-man playoff, hopefully they can make a spot in that playoff sometime.
Cool. When you get to campus, man, don't stress, because if you do, you're going to look like Jonathan and I. As you can see, we got no hair at all. So don't stress when you get there. All right.
Yes,
Wes might be balder than both of us combined. He might need that Bosley check before too long.
Here he goes. He ain't living to go. Jonathan. So Jonathan, you just talked about it. Winning is important. And that's something that I don't think Ryan Silverfield's made any bones about. It's very important to him as well. He doesn't care how you win. He just wants to get the win. When you look at a coach like that, it's very cut and dry. You know what you're getting with him. Is that something that was also enticing to the program, because you know what you're getting? You know when he tells you, hey, this is what we do. It's really what they do.
Yeah. With recruiting, a lot of people say a lot of things, but I think the one thing that you can go back on is what they've done, kind of like you said. A lot of people try to promise you a lot of things, but it's like, have they done it yet? And with Coach Silverfield, what he says, he definitely means, and he's definitely showed that they can do it. They've done it. They've won a lot, and they're going to continue, I think, for sure. In the direction they're going, it's only going to get better, I believe. So it's definitely important.
Jonathan, last question for me, man. And I know John's got some questions for you.
I got one more thing for him too after this.
This is outside of football. This is more, who is Jonathan Harding as a young man? What is your why in life?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think. For me, it's my faith in Jesus and my relationship with him. My why really is to fulfill my potential as a football player. It really ties both together, because I think if you do one thing half in, half out, you're going to do another thing half in, half out. So my why is definitely my faith in Jesus. He really motivates me. The Bible says everything you do it heartily unto the Lord. So I think everything I'm doing, I'm trying to do it unto the Lord, do it as hard as I can do. So that's definitely my why.
And also, I think you're doing it for your family too. After finding out that your dad and mom have siblings of 7, so that's just another why. Also, I think you're doing it for your family also, and I think that's one reason. I think like you brought up, Ryan Silverfield is a family guy, and that's one reason I think you basically have shown why you're going to the University of Memphis. But what can you tell our listeners? What are you looking forward to your senior year coming up? I know you've been part of some 7-on-7s as of late, and if anybody wants to follow your journey right now, going into your senior year of high school, how can they keep up with you?
Yeah, they can keep up with me on Twitter. It's JJ Harding 18. On Instagram, Jonathan.Harding5. So they can keep up with me on those 2 platforms.
Now, what do you think about, people call us the running back you still, but I still think we're the running back you and the tight end you.
Yeah.
Because the way that we have had so many great players at the tight end position over the last, 15 years, West or so, or because you got the Joey Magnificos out there that, can give you some insight.
Yeah.
And you still got an Alan Cross who has played in the NFL, and whatnot, and he's played for the University of Memphis.
Yep.
So what can you say about the tight end you that we have at the tight end position at the University of Memphis?
Yeah, for sure. There's been some studs that have come through. The last 4 or 5 guys have been really good. And we got a really good one right now, Anthony Lamford. So I think he'll have a great year this year. But definitely there's some great tight ends that come through. And I'm not opposed to tight end you at all. I think that's a good thing too.
Couple of things for me before you get out of here. First off, you said, how many siblings do you have again?
I'm 1 of 7.
What number do you wear?
I'm right in the middle. I got three above and 3 below, so I'm number 4.
So what number do you wear in football?
Oh, sorry. I'm number 5.
Number 5? Don't be surprised if you come home after first semester and your parents have bought a boat and you got the number 5 on the side of it. And right below it says baby boy on right below it. Be proud of that if that happens.
Yes, sir.
And two things. One to stay away from and one to go after in Memphis.
Yes, sir.
The one thing that no other place offers in Memphis, like Memphis does, is barbecue. So you've got to eat all the barbecue you can while you're there. And the second one, stay away from all the women. There's women everywhere in this nation. Do yourself a favor. Stay in the barbecue places. Have some ribs. Put some weight on, and get to the league. There's women everywhere.
Yeah, 100%.
Definitely got to go try a place named Blue City Cafe. I was born and raised in Memphis. Personally, I'm not a big rendezvous guy. The experience-wise, it's amazing.
That's not what she said.
No, man. Yeah, like go to Blue City Cafe. I think Blue City Cafe is one of the most underrated restaurants in the city. But Jonathan, more than anything, man, just enjoy your college years. Enjoy your time at Memphis. Being obviously a student first and then an athlete. But there's one thing I can tell you is the Memphis fan base is gonna eat you up. They're gonna enjoy having you on the program or with the program on the team. But get out and go to coaches' show. Go embrace yourself in the program, and I promise you, the fan base is an amazing fan base that's loyal for us.
Awesome. Yeah, for sure. I'm excited.
Jonathan, my last question real quick. I know you're kind of busy and whatnot too also, but what can you tell a player right now that's going through the recruiting process and going through the same thing that you're going through at times right now regarding everything?
Yeah. I would say really get to build relationships. Don't get caught in the flash of things. Everybody's got nice facilities. Everybody's got, nice uniforms, nice lights, nice flashy, this and that. But I think the relationships are what matters because it's really who you're going to be spending the next 3 or 4 years with. And if you don't have a good relationship and you don't really like that person, it's going to be tough to be around them 24/7. So I'm really thankful for me being in my position with Coach Salem, the tight end coach, and Coach Silverfield and Cramsey. I have great relationships with them, and I think that's the most important thing to me. I think it should be the most important thing for anybody. So,
you better buy a jacket. You're gonna freeze your ass off coming up from Florida.
Yeah, man, it does get a little cold.
Better get one. Because if not, it's going to be a bad day when you walk out there and everything's iced over and you just see it shattering. Oh crap! I got to go get me a jacket.
Yeah, like last March, right, Wes?
Yeah. Doc's gonna walk outside like that guy on that podcast told me to get a jacket. Jonathan, thank you very much for joining us, man. We appreciate you. We'll get this thing posted up, get you tagged out, all that good stuff. And as always, man, good luck to you in your future endeavors, not only on the football field, but most importantly in the classroom.
Yes,
good luck, man.
Sir. Thank y'all for having me.
No problem. I appreciate you as always.
Yes, sir. See y'all.
All right, guys, it's time for a little dessert. The burning question of the day had something to do with the dessert. So here, let me take these glasses off so I don't freak Jason out. There we go.
Yeah, I appreciate that. You may be blind, but it's all for me, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I can't see the screen, but it's all good. So I have a little bit of a rant here. I'm not going to drop any F-bombs or anything stupid like that. But But Jim Schlossnager from the University of Texas A&M, formerly of the University of Texas A&M, was asked, well, I mean, hell, everybody. The guy, the young kid, he called him a young reporter, but the young man from TexAgs.com asked the question that I would ask, Jason would ask, anyone would ask. That's a question that, as a media member, you're kind of obligated to ask that question. But for him to take offense to it and then just go after the kid,
He's a
and then take the first flight home to Austin, and then not even get off the team bus or the plane, and you're going, oh yeah, by the way, I'm heading to Austin. I'm their new head coach.
He's been doing that for months.
Yeah. Now, I mean, I was going to say there was reports that talks had began months and months and months ago. Yeah, back in April, so 2 months back. But I just want to say it changes my entire thought process on the portal and the NIL and how bad it is college athletics and how much these things are ruining the sport is the big term that's used. What about this? What about a coach that coached the entire year and coached the national championship game? No. So if A&M wins that game, he is a national championship winning coach and he's still going to Austin? What this combined with the JJ Redick, let me go drop F-bombs in my press conference. What kind of optics or what kind of precedent are we setting for the youth and for these players, not only now, but the ones in youth football that are coming up, the ones that are watching the sport? What about a young kid who's a Laker fan watching the Lakers press conference of one of his dad's favorite players, and this guy tells a reporter that he really don't give a F right in the middle of it? I don't know, man. I have an issue with morality. It is honestly what I feel it is. I mean, you completely stabbed Texas A&M in the back. Oh, by the way, to go to Texas, it's not like you went to like freaking Oregon or something. You went to Texas, the team that's coming in the SEC, the conference that you're in right now, and you just later.
I'm gonna let Jonathan take this one first because I have some very, I wouldn't say explicit thoughts. I think I have some very in-depth thoughts, and I'll take a hot second. So I'm gonna let Jonathan go on first on this one.
I'm going to call him a coward. That's what I'm going to call him. Nothing against my language, but that's what he is right now to me. Like, you don't do that, man. Like, you know for months on what, like Jason brought up, you know for months on what you're going to be doing, and there's supposedly those talks between the Georgia and A&M series on what was going on, whatnot. And I really think you did a coward move right now. And then you did it because your childhood or whatever friend that he is to you that you know for so many years, man. And then on top of that, the guy's waiting for you at a cemetery or whatever, driving from a cemetery to come pick you up and be hidden, for crying out loud. But man, I don't like how he answered that question. I think he should have basically just said no comment and just said, hey, I can't answer that right now, and said no comment and just walked up and walked on his way and just let the press conference. That's what I would have done, and just straight up.
To make it even worse, he turns around in his opening press conference for Texas and is like, let me apologize to the young reporter. I understand he had to ask a question. I was just in a predicament. Yeah, you were caught with your pants down, Jack. That's what happened.
He did that because he got his Peter slapped.
Exactly. Go ahead, Dave.
So I'm going to go on a small little thing here. It won't take but a minute. And by the way, I want to thank all of everybody for jumping on here today. We are literally one person short of 100 live right now. So if you got a friend, tell them to go on here, hit that century mark for us. Because, I mean, We're out here busting our rears, sitting down, doing nothing, flapping our gums, and doing a good job at it, by the way.
Yeah.
So let's look at Jim Schlossnagle for a moment. He was at TCU, and then he went to A&M. And I didn't think that I'd ever find somebody that was better fit for Texas A&M than Jim Schlossnagle was. I mean, the only thing he didn't do was put on the overalls and go out and try to lead the cheer. And I was waiting for that to happen. I think if you gave him another year, he might do it. He fit the A&M profile to a T.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have any sense because he's in Texas. He coaches was at Texas A&M because, I mean, anybody with any half sense wouldn't go from TCU to A&M because that just doesn't happen. Not somebody that's smart. And then he sits there and he just completely lambastes a kid that's doing what he's supposed to do. He's an aspiring journalist. More than likely, if he's not a student, he's pretty fresh out of college. I've got some friends that work over at Texags, and I'm sure that they probably were pretty pissed off and not surprised that Schloss, hey, we hit the 100 mark. He did that. So you have a guy that is Texas through and through, because a guy like that makes bad decisions. And a guy like that land-based people for no reason at all. And then on top of that, lies to everybody and then goes to Texas. Now, don't get me wrong. Chris Del Conte was doing his job. Trev Alberts was 3 seconds on the job. And if he did a pretty good job at Nebraska, he did a horrible job on ESPN. Everybody didn't like him there. I hope that A&M likes him there. But the people at Texas, I mean, who likes a Texas Longhorn fan, first off? And then you get Jim Schlossnagle to coach your baseball team, which they had to make a move because they're going into the SEC. And the Texas way is you don't go into a major conference like this without some sort of a splash. So it was going to happen no matter what. And you have a guy in Schlossnagle that was accusing folks of having hidden cameras in dugouts, saying, oh, we knew who it was, and all this mess, basically pointing to either Vanderbilt or Ole Miss. I'm surprised that Mike Bianco didn't drive down there and beat the hell out of him personally. And now you got him at Texas, which I don't think that there ever really has been something good ever come out of the school before. So I think he fits right in. And for him to sit there and do that at a press conference, then turn around and say, oh, by the way, I'm sorry. That's like you going and cheating on your wife and then saying, oh, by the way, I'm sorry. Here's a gold necklace. It's like, it doesn't count. It just does not count. You cannot do that. And I really hope that folks at the Austin American Statesman, which, by the way, Kurt Bowles, which has done an incredible job for them for decades, has moved on to the Houston Chronicle. I want to congratulate him on the move. Yeah. But because Kirk has done an incredible job. But when you go to a school like Texas, God, he fits right in. Just, ugh. Anyway, that's my rant.
But my last point on this is let's just look at the facility. You're going to a field in Austin that is synthetic. Coming from a field in A&M that is immaculate. The fan base is right on top. The freaking fans shoot bubbles. That's gotta get on somebody. You start throwing balls and it's on. They are coming at you. But you're leaving that to go to Austin, where the big man on campus is named Steve, and he coaches the football program.
And he's behind Mike White in softball right now, honestly.
I mean, yeah, softball too. But that's an even better. Thank you, Jason. You gotta run that ladder when you sign your name. I mean, what do? You go out on the synthetic and be like, damn, somebody needs to get the rate. There's a lot of leaks out left. I mean, it's just facility wise alone, the move makes 0 sense to me. If you're Jim Schnotzenagel, and yes, I know I said his last name wrong. I fully comprehend. By the way, once again, shout out. Jason made the point. Shout out to everybody watching and listening right now. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, at 4-Star Sports M. We appreciate you. We're sitting on 101 right now live. We've been going about an hour and 14 minutes. We're about done here, but
if you want to be a sponsor of this show too, you need to hit Wes up. He needs sponsors, by the way, because he can't do this stuff for free forever. You got somebody that's got a business out there that wants to promote and also wants to give a great shout out to him, he will support you. I promise. Throw it out there, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. And he's right. If you want to sponsor this, if you're in the city of Memphis watching, if you're in the state of Arkansas watching, if you're a local company in either one of those states, we've got content that you can sponsor specifically. If you're a baseball fan in the state of Arkansas and you want to sponsor Northwest Arkansas National coverage, I promise you we're as inside can be. 100% promise you that. No, but yeah, I mean,
I'm not going to take a 10-foot pole, Wes, because I had about 9 Anna Nicole Smith jokes I had on board there.
I appreciate it.
Jonathan just keeps shaking his head too, man.
Oh yeah, that's all you can do, John. That's all you can do is shake.
I'm just laughing at y'all. Y'all are making me trip.
Dude, John, Jason.
This ain't no show. This is just fun therapy. Is all this is.
Hey, he needs to come on every Friday, man, for real.
Hey, I don't disagree, buddy. But man, when you look at it, that Jason, what Jason just talked about is my point. It changes my whole perspective on the NIL. You can't say the NIL and the transfer portal is ruining college sports when college coaches are literally giving the middle finger to not just the institution that they're coaching. Oh, guess what? The fans too that are investing hard-earned money. Tell me all those A&M fans that traveled to Omaha, which is, by the way, not a just right down the road trip. You can't tell me those people aren't pissed. I'd be furious. I'd be hotter than fish grease if I spent thousands of dollars to go to Omaha for 30 days and this man says, and takes off and goes to Austin.
Well, see, it also makes it easier for coaches to move around now that didn't want to move before. I mean, case in point, that's exactly the reason why Arkansas got John Calipari. He didn't want to leave his guys, but now those guys have that option of leaving and going anywhere they want, anytime they want, really. And so that's going to make it basically has leveled the playing field with players and coaches now, because the coaches have had that leeway or that right of way where they can just slip out the back door at any moment. And now the players can sit there and transfer as many times as they want. Mm-hmm. It's going to change the way that universities are going to give scholarships now. Yeah. Because don't get me wrong, it's a year-by-year basis. But now, do they just do a semester-by-semester basis? Because they think, okay, well, this kid's going to be going and leaving in a year from now or less than a year from now. Do I cut his scholarship off and save money and give it to a guy that's going to be here for 2 years versus a year? So now, great. Now they're paying for half a damn semester out of their pocket if they want to stay there.
See, these are all things that I honestly believe. You and I talked about this and leave the detail outside. But these are all things that are going to end up happening. And if you're a fan that's pissed off at the NIL, and if you're a fan that's pissed off at the portal, and when your team starts losing, that's the first thing you want to throw out there, you might as well just pull your pants up, put your belt on, make it tight, and get comfortable, because it's going to be like this forever, and it's not going to get any better for the fans. In a sense of this is not going to change. It's not going to stop. Portal is
Let me-
here. The NIL's here.
Let me add on to that for just 2 seconds before I jump off here. Folks that thought that this stuff is new is wrong.
Yep.
It was going on. It's just that you were contractually bound to stay at that school because you couldn't transfer. So you basically only had one round of free agency coming out of high school. Now you have a round of free agency every year that you're in college. So now you are entertaining X, Y, and Z. Only thing you got to do is you got to hit the portal. Now, can you come back? Yeah, if the coach wants you to come back. But at the same time, you have that new round each time of being able to have a free agent. Look, and when you say that it's changed, it has changed. But I really feel like it's just added new rounds to the free agency market part of it. It really hasn't changed per se exactly what the universities have been doing because they've been doing this shit for years.
100%. 100%. Man, what a show, guys. We've been going an hour and 18 minutes. Shout out Jonathan Harding, too, by the way. That young man is going to be a lot of fun to watch. Seems like a really good kid. Definitely enjoys laughing, having a good time. But, hey, if you can't do what you do in life and not have fun while you're doing it, guess what, folks?
Better find something else.
Yep. Probably doing the wrong thing. But, man, once again, man, thank you all for the support today on the show. Appreciate Jason Patterson popping in. No, Jason just popped up like a weasel and just kicked ass today. Great job.
I want to note it for the record, I do not look like a weasel, and I do not act like a weasel, but I might be a weasel.
Correct. For all those of you not watching, you're listening to the podcast version. Jason is not weasel. Now, we are three bald guys, and I think we need to sit down.
Hey, speak for yourself. There's something up there.
I mean, you're close enough, buddy. I think we got something there too. Three baldies in a pod, something. But yeah, man, John Sturdivant, man, appreciate you, my guy, coming on, doing a great job, bringing great insight into multiple sports, and that's what we talk here at 4-Star Sports. Not just one sport, not just one team.
Didn't they name a strip club in Memphis after that? 3 baldies in a pod.
Yeah, I think you should live in it. I think. But hey, we talk it all here, man. It's Memphis. It's a little bit of Arkansas. It's national talk. It's live golf. It's WWE. We are bringing all of our media relationship to you through this show. So keep on bringing the support, man. 106 people watching right now. We appreciate you guys. Like, follow, share. Head to the 4star.live website too. We've got
Michael Posey. He was the only guy that threw up messages today.
By the way, yeah. Shout out Michael Posey. I appreciate you watching Posey. It's a guy John and I have known for, I don't know, man. It's 30 years. Yeah, I can say my parents sat in behind his parents for 25 years of Memphis football. So, no, shout out to everybody watching, listening. I appreciate it. For John started.
Hold up.
Go ahead.
You forgot to promote SeatGeek promotion.
Oh, dang it. Yeah. Hey, look, if you guys need a ticket, John,
I'll take the hit for that one because I've thrown this thing off the rails today, so that's my fault. I'll take the hit on that one.
Nah.
All right, guys. If you are looking for any ticket, no matter if it's concert, sporting event, rodeo, WWE, whatever, it's on. I promise. Go to SeatGeek.com. Go to your Google Play or Apple Play store, download the SeatGeek app, create you an account. When you do, find you any ticket, $50 or above, put that promo code right there at the bottom down there, 4-Star Sports Media, our name. If you put that code in, that code will save you $20 on that ticket purchase. And if you don't believe me, put the code in and test it yourself. I promise you it works. But yeah, do that, guys. They are our official seat getter here at 4-Star Sports Media, and we want them to be yours too. So go to SeatGeek and type in 4-Star Sports Media in that promo code, and it'll save you $20 off the price. For those of you that don't know what $20 means, that's $20. Just so you're aware.
And
Yeah,
buy,
once
and
again-
buy your college football tickets now with that promotion because they'll
Yeah,
definitely come
exactly,
in handy.
exactly. Go ahead and get those game 0, game 1 openers. Get those out of the way. Damn. Go there, use it, use the code. The code works. I promise you it does. We will be using it throughout the year too. So once again, thank you, John, for that. Once again, Jason, we're over here. Jason Patterson, John Skirvin, I'm Wes Pruitt. You've been watching and listening to the Sports Buffet, June 28th, 2024 edition, right here on the 4-Star Sports Radio Network. As always, folks, have fun and be safe.